From Harris Studios, this is Accounting for Tomorrow, an accounting and advisory services podcast for community leaders with a passion for change, who are ready to look past the numbers and ensure that today's planning efforts create success for tomorrow. I'd like to thank all our listeners today for joining us. I'm very excited today about the topic we have here. We have Bobbi-Jo Meuleman with us, the new CEO of the Chamber. And Harris has had just a long-standing relationship with the Chamber over several years. One, they put up with us as their auditors, but we've been able to support their programs. We put a lot of people through the different events and activities they had. It's just been a phenomenal partner. And for us, what we believe is a very great partner for just the entire valley here and what you guys support. But this year has been kind of a big change. We had a CEO at the Chamber, Bill Connors, who we absolutely loved and been around for a while, but he retired. And we have Bobbi-Jo Meuleman here taking over as the CEO of the Chamber. Bobbi has been working at the state for a lot of years, and maybe I'll just welcome you and let you kind of give a little overview of what you've been doing pre-Chamber.
Yeah, well, thank you, and thanks for this opportunity. Before coming to the Chamber, I'd been in state government for, it's hard to believe, 14 years, 20 years total in government if you count my D.C. experience. So when I moved here from Washington, D.C., I started working for Governor Otter, and I worked in his personal office for about 7 years as his scheduler, and then at the end as his deputy chief of staff, and then went over to the Department of Commerce to work with Director Megan Ronk when she was there, and was brought on as her chief operating officer. And then when she left to go to Idaho Power, Governor Otter appointed me to be the director of the Department of Commerce. And then after my time there, Governor Little had won when Governor Otter had retired, and he asked me to come in his office and served as his director of intergovernmental affairs and deputy chief of staff. And now here I am at this new and exciting role at the Boise Chamber.
So I'll have to ask you, why take on the role of the CEO of the Chamber? You know, been in the state of Idaho and with between Governor Otter and Governor Little, working there for a long time. What excited you about coming over to the Chamber?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question, and honestly one I've been getting asked a lot these past few months. So I think what really excited me about this job was all the different elements or components of parts of my career that I've really enjoyed doing and I feel I'm good at. Working with businesses, that's been a big part of what I've got to do in my career. Community engagement, being the liaison for intergovernmental affairs with mayors, county commissioners, you name it. I've got to be really engaged in the community. And then the advocacy side, which is something I'm very passionate about. And so I think all of those elements together made it a really exciting opportunity and challenge to do something new that still allows me to do the things I really enjoy.
That's awesome. It's exciting. So now you had a couple months in the fall to kind of get going, and now we're coming up really quick to legislative session, and the Chamber really starts to ramp up that time of year. Maybe talk about what the Chamber is looking at in the upcoming session.
Yeah, so I know there's a couple efforts I can tell you that we will be engaged in supporting. The Idaho Launch Program, which is a big post-secondary investment, our largest in Idaho's history. The Boise Chamber supported that last year to get the policy piece done. This year we will be advocating to get the funding for that program. So I know that that's one that we will be actively engaged.
Can you explain the program just a little bit? For those
Yeah,
who
of
might
course,
not
for
have-
sure. So the Idaho Launch Program it's $75 million that goes to post-secondary. And what's really unique about it is it's for graduating high school seniors. So this first 2024 class will be the first class to qualify for it. And it gives kids $8,000 to go on to post-secondary for an Idaho institution. What's really unique about it, as our workforce is changing and the skill sets are changing, is it allows and supports for all pathways. So if a child wants to go into a traditional four-year institution, as long as it meets the qualifications, which they're really focusing on in-demand careers, right? We want kids being placed in jobs that are needed and they're going to start making an income. The unique part about it, which is really exciting, is it's showing that focus on all career pathways. So community colleges, certifications, things like that can all qualify to help kids to go on. And so I think it's a really unique way to invest. A highly educated society, it helps everyone, right? And this is a good way of ensuring that we're investing in those careers where we're having a harder time filling them and really investing in all pathways. It is truly to support all pathways and really hopefully help that go on rate in Idaho as we don't see the participation rate in post-secondary as I think everyone would like to.
Right. I mean, I think we've hear that in every industry that our clients are in and listeners are in, like they all want that go on rate to go up and the workforce to get trained and be able to have that opportunity. So the legislation was last year, and then you were saying this year, what's the second part?
It has to get funded. So now it has to be funded. So there will be a big effort to get that funded. You know, workforce is if not one of the number one challenges for the employers, not just in the Treasure Valley, but in the state. And so I know that's something that is important to our members of doing what we can and supporting efforts that can help have that talent pipeline.
Excellent. Excellent. Other things that you guys are looking at?
You know, we'll just be watching anything that has a component that might impact business. We'll be watching that carefully, anxious to see any efforts to increase funding for transportation, housing, any of those sort of things. Tax cuts, we're always really engaged to see what that might mean for our businesses and how we can help out on those things. So a lot to be watching and monitoring this year for sure.
And it'll be your first year on the chamber side. Is it going to be unusual for you going from being in the State Department to then coming over on the chamber?
Yeah, I'm anxious to see as well. So far, it's been good and been fun interactions with people now being on that other side. And so just excited, utilizing and maintaining those great relationships I have with folks and excited to do it on the other side.
Right. That'll be fun. The legislative piece of the chamber is just one piece of a bunch of things that you guys do. Maybe talk about a couple things that the other programs that the chamber is looking at in 2024.
Yeah, no, advocacy is just a piece of what the chamber does. One of the biggest things is we're a member organization, and so connecting people is a really big component for the chamber. And I think that is why a lot of folks join the chamber, is that networking. It could be to connect with businesses that may need your services, connecting with businesses that think alike. It's a great way into meeting people. There's a great way for your workforce to connect into folks. So those networking events are really important for the chamber. And we do a lot of those throughout the year at the chamber, just connecting people, right? Being a connector. We have some leadership programs at the chamber. We have Boise Young Professionals. We have Leadership Boise alumni. You know, these again are really great programs to get people connected with each other. You know, you could have someone in some sector of our industry that might not interact with someone from a different sector. Our leadership programs connect people, and through that you build relationships. And I'm a big advocate, always have been, is relationships are really important in success of an individual and your professional career. And so building those relationships are really important. Our Boise Young Professional program is really important because these are young adults, right, that are newer in their careers. And I think it's really important from a chamber aspect to get them engaged in the chamber, you know, have them be our champions of seeing the value of what a chamber can do. But it's also, again, for our businesses and other members, there's a talent pipeline for you right there, is getting in front of those young professionals, letting them know about what your business might do, what opportunities could be. Those are some things that are really important to the chamber, just really connecting people.
So I'm a Leadership Boise alum. We have several people here who have gone through the program. Maybe explain a little bit more about that program, and because it's available and it's out there, but you got to apply and different things. Maybe explain that program in case other businesses are interested in joining.
Yeah, so that's a program that you have to apply for. I don't remember off the top of my head of how many individuals we accept every year. I believe it's a 2-year program. Don't quote me on that. What it really does is it brings together professionals. It's a great resource if you're a business to invest in your people. You can put your professionals through this program, help develop their skills, help them build relationships. It really puts these folks not only together, but it puts them in front of leaders, other leaders, right? Be that a CEO, be that someone within the public policy realm. They do a lot on learning about best practices, about new techniques. I mean, you name it, it really encompasses a lot of things. So it really is a great professional development tool for businesses to utilize to help foster and build their employees' professional career.
Right. We really enjoy it too because it gets you out of just your particular industry.
Correct.
You meet other people in the community like-minded. They want the community to be successful. They want everyone in the valley to grow, where a lot of times your day-to-day work, you get sucked into your industry.
Right. I just think it's really important for people to participate in the community, participate in all of these areas. And so that's what these programs are meant to do. It's meant to connect people, encourage them to participate, and build relationships. I talked to a board member who was talking about he did Leadership Boise, and there's still 6 of them that go golfing every year, right? And he's like, and these were people I never would have met. And now we have this little network where we can throw ideas off of each other and make other connection points because I happen to know these people from Leadership Boise. So I think they're great programs that just have a lot of value to them.
Excellent. So you also at the Chamber have BVAP and BVAP, and then it's Visit Boise.
Visit Boise.
They changed their name a couple years ago. So Visit Boise and BVAP. Maybe talk about the interaction with them and the Chamber and how you guys are all working together and maybe where you see yourselves going.
Yeah, I think that's actually one of my goals in my new role is having more synergy between the entities, right? They all fall within the umbrella of the Boise Chamber, but BVAP's mission is they're the recruiting tool for the Treasure Valley, right? They're the ones that are tasked for promoting the area, bringing in new business. Obviously, there's a nexus there with the Chamber. As we're bringing in new business, it helps existing businesses. And then with Visit Boise, they really are the marketing arm for the area. And so tourism for the state is huge, but tourism for this region is huge. I don't know if people really understand how much money comes in through tourism, through conferences, leisure travel, you name it. And so it's a really big industry for the state. And so having that marketing arm under the Chamber is really important. And so those are things I really want to focus on is how can we have more synergy and more partnership between all of the entities moving forward. So that's something I'm really excited to work on.
Yeah, and I think your roles in the state and the commerce, all that kind of stuff will kind of help connect all of those together.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well. So,
yeah.
Anything else that the Chamber is looking at for next year or for 2024 that you're excited about?
Yeah, so I think as we look at this valley, we're growing, and we have to recognize the growth. We got to plan for the growth. And so with that, we have to find ways to address transportation, public transportation, expanding our highway system, housing, things like that, that if we don't address those, we're going to get gridlocked, and then that's going to be unfortunate. And so there are some good efforts underway that I'm really excited to be part of, looking at what do we need to do. Let's come together as a group and talk about how can we really address some of these issues. We don't want this area to turn into a place where it's gridlocked. You can't get anywhere. People have to be able to find housing. People have to be able to move around. Things like homelessness, right? We have to continue to ensure that this area is clean, it's safe, we're managing, taking care of those things. And so I think you'll see the Chamber be more of a partner in some of these efforts. And how do we ensure that we keep a strong, thriving business community? And part of that is making sure we're taking care of those things. And if you naturally take care of those things, then you're going to continue to see lots of growth and positive things. So really excited to work on that. Really excited to partner with our other chambers in the Treasure Valley, Nampa, Meridian, Caldwell. I think we all get along really well. I think there's a lot of synergies there, a lot of great things we can do together. So I guess I'm just excited to take on some of these efforts and be a good partner in 2024.
Well, that's exciting. There's a lot of work being done on homelessness by a lot of parties. You guys have been part of that. I know the transportation piece, not to just put another plug in for the Chamber, but last year, the Leadership Conference talked a lot about transportation, and that to me is one of the best conferences just because of the connections that you have from not only the state legislators and different parties involved, but all across the valley. It kind of pulls in everyone on different topics every year. But I know they kind of kicked off transportation, a lot more discussions at least on that last year as well. So it's exciting to see. I know we've always believed the Chamber does an excellent job at connecting people and really helping push those discussions forward. And we're excited that you're on board now and kind of taking the reins from Bill and really going to push everything forward in the upcoming year. So congrats again. And thank you very much for just coming on our podcast. I know our clients are mostly in the Treasure Valley, a little bit throughout the state, but a lot of them here and are excited for you and what the Chamber is going to do and looking forward to 2024.
Well, and thank you again for the opportunity. I really appreciate it. And thank you for your strong partnership with the Chamber all these years. As we were talking about earlier, you're famous. You've got a picture in our office. So, and just for all your listeners, if you're not a member of the Boise Metro Chamber, give me a call. I'd love to talk about it.
Absolutely. Thank you for listening to Harris CPA's Accounting for Tomorrow. Stay tuned for new episodes each month. Podcasts are also available on our website at harriscpas.com/podcasts. Any accounting, business, or tax advice contained in this podcast is not intended as a thorough, in-depth analysis of specific issues, nor a substitute for a formal opinion, nor is it sufficient to avoid tax-related penalties. If you'd like, Harris CPAs would be pleased to perform their research and provide you with a detailed analysis of your specific situation.